Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Awesome Dynamic Show. Terry Levin, the Director of Sales here. Have the rest of the group with us. Have Paul, Tim, Blake, and of course Robin with us today. Before we jump in, I just want to mention very quickly that all our webinars will be on Thursday as they have always been, but our time is going to be the time we are on right now. That's 12:30 Central, and that's going to be going forward on all of them, so you won't have to really check to see what time they're on. Just be here with us every Thursday at 12:30, and you'll be good to go. So with that being said, I want to turn things right over to Robin. Robin, what's the blog we're going to be talking about today?
Today we're going to be talking about creating a successful SEO roadmap.
All right, sounds great.
So some of you may be wondering what's SEO or what's a roadmap. So SEO is just search engine optimization, so it's just marketing your website online. And we particularly focus on Google. And then an SEO roadmap is just the plan of how to get your specific website to that end goal of not just ranking on Google, but getting actual customer calls. All right.
So Robin, why do we I'm just jumping in, pardon me, why do we specifically look at Google when we're talking about this so much?
Because they have the majority of the search engine traffic, and that's how you get that organic traffic to come right to your site. So it's people that are actually looking for exactly what you're doing, very targeted versus, putting out a magazine ad or a TV ad and just hoping that it's going to stick. These are people that are already looking for you. Plus, Google is also about 86% of the market when you're talking about search engines.
Got it.
All right. So the first thing you want to do is making sure that you don't make a mistake with your SEO roadmap. You have to have a rough outline, make sure that they have some sort of plan. A lot of SEO companies won't have any sort of plan. So if you're asking questions at the beginning and asking, well, what dates do I expect things to be done? That's what you're really looking for, is just a rough estimate and the items that are going to get done for you. So depending on your marketing plan and your goals, it's going to be different for every company. Even if it's your competitors, they could have two completely separate marketing plans. All right, and so you definitely want to have something that's custom for you. So when you're hiring an SEO company, you want to make sure that they're listening to your specific needs. You might have a goal of, most people have a goal of making more profit, but some people have a goal of getting more customers. Some people have a goal of getting more social media, buzz, and some people have all different kinds of goals. So definitely put that up front. Don't just assume that they know what your goal is. And then just because I use this example of a plumber, just because that SEO company has specializes in plumbing websites and they have, 20 plumbing websites that they've done, it doesn't mean that your specific plumbing business has the same goals, services as every other plumber out there. So make sure that you ask for what you need for your business. And there also is a sense of you have to be flexible with the SEO roadmap. It's just a rough guide. So if they don't finish something by a certain date, there's usually a reason behind that. So it's really just an estimate of how many months something will take, or if you want to rank for a certain keyword, then they can give you a rough estimate, but it's really up to Google, and Google's changing constantly. I mean, it's changing just about twice a day. So there's a lot of different factors that can go into ranking for a keyword and how much time you put into it.
You know what? I want to comment on that because I want to elaborate on the plumber scenario. So let's say you really specialize in doing, let's say, hot tubs, or you specialize in doing whirlpools, or specialize in doing some sort of area or niche in the plumbing field that you really want to focus on, because let's say you make a lot more money in that area than, let's say, doing regular under the sink repairs or whatever it is, or you want to focus on doing more copper versus PEX or whatever the specialty is, and you say, you know what, these types of customers are really what I'm looking for. If your SEO is geared in that direction, and how your website is structured to really funnel people into the buckets that you want them to be in, you can sort of use your, well, you can't sort of, you do use your website as a tool to help qualify those different people into those different buckets. So if you, let's say, really want to specialize in a certain area, you can, well, make that a really big feature on the homepage of your website, because that's what you really want to attract. So this way people know absolutely that's the type of work that you do. And B, in your contact form, you could ask a couple qualifying questions that will help you understand what it is they're looking for. They're looking for, let's say you don't want to get into any sort of emergency situation stuff. Let's say if this is an emergency, and you can have the form kind of guide them through the path that you want them to go in. So there's a lot that can be done on the website to help funnel those folks into the, what I call, buckets, depending on what their needs and wants are. So you can, let's say, avoid some folks that you don't want to work with and really capture more of the ones that you do. So you're not wasting time trying to contact the folks that aren't a good fit for what you're trying to do with your business. So that's another aspect of SEO that's more of the human side that I talk about from time to time, which is to really make sure that the website is really speaking to the individuals that you're wanting to reach out to, and those that aren't a good fit, you're putting them into a different category, maybe referring them to somebody else, or they come through the form anyway, and then you connect them with somebody that's going to help them that maybe you have an affiliate or commission relationship with, which might be a better way to handle that. So you can't. A lot of people just think of my website as just a website, and it's just something that's a online brochure or business card that's out there. And it can be much, much more than that. It can be much more useful. It's supposed to be a tool to do things for you, not just one-way information. So, Robin, I'm going to hand it back to you then.
Sure. All right, so here's just some examples of questions to ask your SEO team, or maybe even before you hire one, if you're browsing. So, what are our business priorities? What tasks have low difficulty and high impact? So just questions that you can ask for to figure out where you want to go from point A to point B to get your SEO completed in a timely manner. And these are just examples of what should be in the roadmap. It might not be in every roadmap, but you want to know about your keyword rankings, how much traffic you're getting, and your analytics stats. Some keyword research, probably more towards the beginning than in the middle. An audit for your links, schematics, fixing errors, video sitemaps, and cleaning up your links. Any kind of content here, and SEO reporting. So these are just a few things that you could expect to see in your roadmap. Did you have anything else you wanted to add to this roadmap?
Well, taking a look at some of the items that you have there, those are very broad, different areas that SEO company could get into, and you have to develop a strategy that works well for your business. So a lot of it does revolve around content creation. And one thing that we do with our SEO clients is we develop strategies for them to help get us content to put on their website, or even help them develop strategies for helping them get it on their website. For example, creating videos. Usually as soon as somebody thinks about creating a video for their website, they immediately think it's a really, really big project. And that's something that oh my God, I'm going to have to, we're going to have to clean up the office. I'm going to have to get my script down of what I'm going to say. I'm going to have to line up a few customers to say good things. And, it doesn't have to be that big of a project. And one thing that we did for our client that sells supplements online and does nutritional coaching through his website is every Friday he just basically sits down in a little video studio with a white background on a black one like I have here, and he just talks to the camera. He basically is interviewed by a staff. He just talks to the camera, and he'll do that for about an hour, and he'll answer a whole bunch of different questions, and they'll take that video footage and cut it up into little sections and slap an intro and outro on it. And I say slap an intro and outro on it, but they make stock intros which are made in Adobe After Effects. We could create one for you if you'd like. But then the final result is a little video clip that you're able to put at the beginning and at the end. Maybe the end is a call to action, beginning is your logo swinging in with a neat little tune that goes along with it, and then you put the video of you talking to the camera right in the middle of it. You slice out that piece, and you got a simple video. And you spent maybe an hour in front of the camera. The post production isn't that long to get those things sliced up. You can even do it all in the YouTube editor, so you don't need any special software. It's not as easy to do as it might be with some specialized software, but you could do that with your phone, and you can get all this stuff done in the YouTube editor on youtube.com. And that is an easy way to do live camera video. Now, there's also the option of doing something with just pictures. So going back to content creation, when let's say one of our customers is a sprinkler and outdoor lighting contractor. And as they go out to these different jobs that they're completing in these multi-million-dollar houses in some cases, before they weren't really taking any pictures of the stuff. They'd finish the job and get on to the next job, and it was all about getting the business done, which I understand. But now they're building into their process. They're going to, when they finish the house, they'll wait to the twilight part of the night, and they're going to go out there with a camera, take a whole bunch of different pictures. They're going to work with the homeowner to get all the curtains open, get all the lights turned on, because they've already been working with them through this whole process of getting the lighting done on their house. So they already established a really good relationship with that client, and they're going to, right at the end of that, work with the client to get all those pictures, and now they have those pictures to use, let's say, in videos or on their website and stuff like that. So they're implementing that as part of their regular process. With that video thing I talked about, that client just does videos every single Friday. He just sits down for an hour. So it doesn't need to be in a big process to create content. You just think about, what am I already doing on a weekly basis, and how can I document some of those things in some way? And then as you collect this content, then you can work with your SEO company, use that for part of your roadmap. And the reason I bring that up is because the content creation is so hard for us to get out of our clients a lot of times, and that's where the roadmap really should include developing strategies to develop that content on an ongoing basis, and continue to build on that, because it's so important to have that unique content to your business.
Great. Yeah, those are some really important points there. Content creation is definitely one of the big ones to keep on track with the roadmap. But I would say an overall theme of just roadmaps is just having open communication with your SEO team, and just making sure that everything can be measured and tracked. And if you fall behind on the roadmap, you don't have to panic. Just make sure that you know why you're falling behind, or maybe something came up with your website that needs to be addressed first, or it could just be that you want to prioritize something else. So definitely good to have at least a rough outline of a plan when you're doing SEO.
Great. Thank you, Robin. So that was our blog on creating the SEO roadmap, and that's important to have a plan, what you're doing. And if you're talking with an SEO company and they say, oh, we always, with this package, we do 3 blogs a month, we do several directory listings, we do this, that, and the other, but they're not really looking into and understanding your needs and individual things about your business, I would question whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you and your business. Yeah, it'll probably help in some way, but if you're really creating a strategy around what your business goals are, that's what's really, really important to do. So at this point, we have a couple other segments for today's webinar. One of them is to take a look at a website that we have. We got permission from a business owner to take a look at his website that does a dog diapers alternative, which we'll be taking a look at in a moment. We'll also be talking about how they could get themselves onto Amazon, because we do a lot of Amazon consulting. And then further, we're also going to talk about a company that's nearby here called the Popcorn Factory. We're going to take a look at their existing listings on Amazon and see what they could do to improve those listings to improve their bottom line in sales.
And if you'd like your website featured, you can just put in the chat your website, and we can do it in a following week.
That's right. That's right. So if you connect with us, you can give us the information about your website. We'll do a full evaluation free of charge on our webinar here and talk about the different things that you can do to improve your online presence, whether that's with your website or with your Amazon presence. So that being said, at this point, Terry is having some computer and internet issues, so that's why he's not able to join us at this time, and we're chatting with him to see if we can help him through that process. But at this point, Terry would want me to go through, well, what does Awesome Dynamic do? And that's why we have the screen up. And we'll take a brief break here, commercial break, to say we do responsive web design. We do SEO services for folks, Amazon seller consulting. Those are really our three main services. We also do the Google virtual tours that connects to Google Maps. But really, your website is the tool that helps bring people into your lead structure. And if it's not really done the proper way, it's just a website that doesn't do anything for you. And the responsiveness of that website is really to make it work on all those different mobile devices, such as your tablet, your smartphones, and it needs to be able to work on those devices, because I think we're at over 60% of all website traffic or all internet traffic is on mobile devices now. So it's so important to have the website be mobile friendly. Then we have SEO services, and that's really all about getting you targeted customers. There it says it right across our homepage. We want to make sure that if someone's looking for what you do, that you're coming up for that search term. So if they're looking for plumber in New York, we want to make sure that your listing in Google's search engine is coming up right away at the top. And if we can do that, you'll get tons of phone calls from people that want to use you. If you're not in there at all, you're going to miss out on all those phone calls. So phone calls, contacts through the website, all that kind of stuff. So SEO is really about getting found. And that's really worked for us, because for Amazon Seller Consulting, which is our third service here, we've done the SEO to come up internationally for Amazon Seller Consulting, and we get 3-4 phone calls and emails a day from people finding us internationally, and that keeps Terry very busy with setting up estimates and getting consulting set up or full service management for our services. So now, Robin's scrolling down the screen very briefly here. We have, you can sign up for our awesome list to get our emails, which give you access to these videos and blogs and everything that we have here. We also have, would ask if you find this content really valuable, scroll down to the bottom of the page and click Review Us. That'll bring us to our thumbs up or thumbs down. Of course, you're going to give us a thumbs up for being so awesome. And if you click that, it'll allow you to get to a place to leave us a 5-star review either on Google or on Facebook, and we would really appreciate that. So with that being said, we're going to go right to our next segment, which is the Dog Diapers Alternative. And Robin, why don't you take it away with your first impressions on this website?
Sure. I would say I like the logo, and this tagline here makes it pretty clear that this is for dogs, and then you can see from the pictures, I get it right away. So definitely a website that, and this actually changed from the last time I looked at it. Now there's a slideshow here, which is great, and it has high quality pictures, and then also just a short summary right here. If I wanted to buy right now, I would probably say put the Shop Now button closer to the beginning. I know there's a big call out here, but maybe make this really obvious, so that, because these are coming up before that, success stories, size charts, contact us in my account, but what you really want to funnel them to is to see the actual products.
So like a giant button in the upper right, Shop Now. So right now we see the blue button in the middle of the slideshow, but wouldn't it be great if up at the top right, a big Shop Now button would be phenomenal.
Right, and then we go down, we see videos, we have pictures, we have testimonials, all great content for a website. I would say put even more information on the homepage of the website, because that's where Google's really gathering your main information, and also taking keywords from your homepage. So this About Us, most people are now putting the About Us page directly on the homepage. That'll leave also a little bit more room on here for your top links. All right.
How many words do you recommend for the homepage, Robin?
I would recommend 1,500 words, which sounds like a lot, but at least more than your competitors as well. You can break that up. It's a lot of text, but you can break it up with pictures, videos, infographics, and you can just get creative putting some original content in there. All right, so we can see that we have a couple different options here.
The P belly and the P shirt.
And one thing I want to focus on as well is, let's go back to the home page and let's just take some of these pictures and take a look at them. Because I know one of the concerns was the website speed. So just the size of the pictures is one item that can improve that. I can see that this is 600 by 495. Let's see if we can see the amount of kilobytes for this, or how big the picture is, because that's something that can slow down your website, is how large the pictures are.
You won't be able to see it right there, but
Okay.
if you download the picture, you'll be able to see it. But one thing that I see right away with what you had on the screen a moment ago is that picture maybe is 200 pixels wide by 100 pixels tall as it appears on the screen. But when you did the inspect element, go ahead and do that again, Robin. And we'll show you a tool that'll actually point all these things out for you in just a second. But as you look at, see, when she hovers over it, okay, so there it says right up above 235 by 176.25 is the size of the image on the screen. And you could see in the HTML, the picture is 600 by 495. So the website is actually squeezing the picture down to that size. So there's a huge opportunity there for compression of that image, so this way it takes up less file size. Now if we were actually download this file and look at the file size, it would probably be much larger than it really needs to be. And we'll take a look at that in a moment with one of the tools. But this is one of the biggest factors, and I know this particular company is interested in increasing their page speed or website speed, and really you're looking for your entire website to be less, or each page to be less than 1 megabyte, and even less than that's good. But if you have pictures that are not optimized correctly, it's going to basically make your website load even slower just because you're not taking care of some of those optimization opportunities with the images. Ron, you want to take a look at this and see what we have?
Sure. I'm just using this free tool called Page Speed Insights. This is a Google tool that you just put in your website and you press Analyze, and you can see that Google gives you not only a website score but tells you exactly what you need to fix. Another Google tool you can use is called Google Search Console, and that is something that you can use that'll give you even more detail and also email you if they see some errors or major errors that you could be fixing right now. So we can see that some of these specific pictures, it tells you exactly which picture needs to be reduced and by how much in order to speed up your website. And then this one says your eliminate render, blocking JavaScript and CSS and above the fold content. So what Google loads first is anything that's above the fold. So above the fold would be it's different on every desktop and depending on how big your monitor is, and it's different on mobile sites as well. But it's basically if you're at the top and the website's loading, anything that shows up right here, it's kind of like when you fold a newspaper in half, anything that you can see above that fold without scrolling down. So this would all be below the fold. So anything that's loading up here is considered priority. So that loads first, and that's what Google will look at. We can also shrink it down here to see if it's mobile friendly, and I can see that it completely changes the layout, and this is what you would see on your phone.
Actually,
you can see the picture is a little cut off. Yeah, you don't see any of the text. The above the fold content's completely different. So if you can go into Google Analytics to see how much of your traffic is coming from mobile, but on average, most companies have around 60% of your viewers are seeing this instead of this.
That's an issue there with that slideshow. It needs to be redesigned.
Then a few more things that you should be fixing here. Leverage browser caching, so that just means, Paul, you can talk about the in the
Sure.
CSS.
Yeah, so the leverage browser caching, that basically is giving your website instructions to the browser that's going to be looking at the website. So the browser could be Chrome, Internet Explorer, Microsoft Edge, as it's called now, Safari on the Macs, or Firefox, depending on what you're using. It gives the browser instructions, hey, if you visit our website, take these elements and store them for a while. So you hear about clearing your cache to be able to change things. Well, you're basically storing that in the computer's cache, so this way, as they browse from page to page, it's not having to reload everything over and over again when they click and view. So that'll drastically speed up the site. So leverage the browser caching here. It's identifying different elements that are not. So you basically put in there, hey, this particular item needs to stay in the browser cache for a certain amount of time. So you could specify a week, a day, a month, so many hours, and it's identifying all the specific files that should be updated with that timestamp of how long it should be stored by the browser. There's also the idea of having server caching, where you can contact your website host and say, I want a lot of these different files to be stored on the server, so this way they load out much faster, they get delivered or served out to the browser much faster, and essentially you're building a cache right on your website. So in WordPress there's actually plugins that help you do that, and a lot of hosting companies can help you do that as well. Moving on, the Minify CSS, these are just different techniques. There's Minify CSS, Minify JavaScript, and there's some different rules that you did pass here of different things that that they can identify. But essentially this tool goes through and looks at all the nitty-gritty elements that could be improved to make your page speed faster. And let's see what their score is, Robin, at the top. I'll scroll up to the top here and take a look. So you have a score of 67 out of 100 on your mobile, and then desktop, 59 out of 100. And it's telling you on each of the different things here what you should be fixing and specifically what should be fixed. And when we are looking at those images, it's actually identifying exactly what we looked at a moment ago before we looked at this tool, which is the images are just too large. They need to be optimized and squeezed down, not only in the size that they look like on the screen, but also in the kilobytes, what the file size is on the site as well. Robin, would you go over to the next tab there, the GT metrics, because this includes the page speed insights plus even more data. And again, if you open up these little, page load time, 5.2 seconds, total page size, 3.19 megabytes. That's a really, really large website to load, especially if you were on a mobile phone and you had a 3G connection. That would take forever. And what do people do when they just have a white screen that's just loading and loading and loading, Robin?
They pogo stick or otherwise just press back on their browser and go to the next result. And if that one doesn't load, they go back on their browser and go to the next result on Google.
Right. You literally have like seconds, couple seconds to get them. And if your site isn't loading that fast, you could just be losing customers, which in analytics, Google Analytics is called just loading so slowly. You see you get performance scores in this particular tool too. This is gtmetrics.com. You're able to put this in here, your site in here, and it gives you a lot of detailed information, not only on the page speed, which again is being reiterated in this section, and if you expand that serve scaled images, Robin, expand that box down there. All right. It'll actually give you the link, so go ahead and click on any one of those links there. So in this one, you can actually click the link. So here's a picture. It's saying this picture could be smaller, and it's identifying it, so showing you exactly where that picture is on your site. Another thing I found interesting when I looked at this before this webinar, if you go down to, scroll just a little bit down on this, there's a section there where it says specify, remove the query strings from static. I think that was the one I was looking at. No, that was not the one. There was one that I saw on here where one of the background images, you actually had like 4 versions of it loaded in the website, and each of the different versions was used on different pages. So why not just have one version of the background image and just call it on all the pages rather than loading different versions all over the place? Maybe it's that specify a very accept coding header. Open that one. No, that wasn't the one. There's one that showed the 4 specific files. So it's in one of these drop downs here. But the point is, go through here. You can go to your web developer and say, I need these things addressed. Some of the web developers won't even know what these things are. You can go to your hosting company and take a look. These are the background images I was looking for, Robin. So see this background I again, background I1. It's the same little background that's behind the slideshow. They have 4 different versions of it, and it's being used in at least 4 different places on the website. Yep, right back there on the slideshow. So you have extra versions of the image that don't even need to be there. So that's something that should be addressed. But this company, GT Metrics, I'm actually going to be getting a dedicated server with them. They do a lot to help folks make their sites faster on the server. And your typical GoDaddy, which I know this site is on, they're not going to go to the lengths that a more expensive dedicated server company will do. Although GoDaddy does have dedicated servers, it might be wise to maybe go in with somebody on one as well. But let's take a look at some of the other things you had. The SiteLiner up here, Robin.
Sure, and just one analogy, that a lot of SEOs use. It's kind of like your website's kind of like a runner, and then putting all this extra stuff is putting extra weight on them. It's like wearing the heaviest clothes, the heaviest shoes, carrying a backpack with you while you run. So trying to get rid of all this stuff and slim down, it's going to make your website run a lot faster.
That's a great analogy. And Robin, would you mind going back to that one more time? I just want to look at the waterfall real quick.
Oh, sure.
And that's on the GT metrics. So if you look at the waterfall tab, this really shows what's happening for each of the different seconds of loading the site. So that very first item, if you hover over that purple bar that's taking 2.57 seconds, it says waiting. Basically, from the moment that this tool asked for barketware.com, the server looked it up, it connected in 286 milliseconds, and then it waited for 2.9 seconds, which is ridiculous. So that's where GoDaddy needs to do something about that. There's something on the server end that's causing it to take so long. And then if you look at all the other files in the waterfall, you could see that as soon as that 2.57 seconds happens, Robin, move your mouse down for a moment, you'll see that all these other files, and on the left it'll tell you exactly which files, all these things start loading. And then you can see there's one item there for 1.96 seconds. You could look at, okay, well, what is taking that long? And you can look at all these individual files and expand the little plus sign on the left to see, okay, well, there's a picture that's taking 1.19 seconds, and you can see how large that picture is. So this sanitary napkin is, it has a certain file size, and that file size is, oh, there it is, 79.8 kilobytes. You could probably optimize that to be better so it takes less long to load. So this will help you really identify the specific issues that are causing your site to load. And Robin's analogy about the runner wearing heavy clothes and a backpack and everything else is a really good one. All right, Robin, let's take a look at the SiteLiner really quick. So what do you see here that's an urgent concern?
A large amount of duplicate content was found, and also the sitemap XML was found on your site, but it's not referenced in robots.txt. What that means is all those pages on your site, a human who's looking at your site can see all the pages, but Google cannot see the pages. So if Google can't see them, then you can't rank for them on Google because they just won't show up on Google. So you'll have to submit your sitemap to Google and tell them, hey, I'm here, this is my website. And the way you do that is through Google Search Console, and you submit your sitemap. So a webmaster can take care of that for you. But then also the large amount of duplicate content. So let's go ahead and see specifically what that is. It looks like your blog, the sizing charts, they might be on multiple pages. Let's just take a look at exactly, this is going to outline exactly what's duplicate content. So there's 5 reasons why dog marking occurs in the house. That's on more than one page of your site. It looks like this entire thing is this blog intro and these exact words. If I press read more and go to the next part, it's going to have these exact same words right here. So you can't have the same content or the same picture, as you can see right here, more than once on your website or on any other website on the internet. So if someone else copied and pasted your blog onto their site, that would be considered duplicate content as well.
Right. And then some people ask, well, how do so I'm going to get penalized if someone takes my stuff? Well, Google can see where it existed first. So usually you're okay if you're the one that originated the content, but if you're copying stuff from other places and putting it on your site, then you're getting that duplicate content penalty. And then if you're, like Robin just identified, the reason why it's happening on your site is because you have your category page in WordPress showing a snippet of text of the main blog article. So that's where you need to turn off that snippet. So this way it's just saying maybe just the name of just the title of the blog article and the read more button, so they can go and then read the full article on that page. So WordPress is, how you have it structured is actually causing duplicate content on your site without you even knowing it from the beginning. So that's an issue that needs to be resolved as well.
And then
Go ahead, Robin.
I just want to go back 1 second to that GoDaddy, that 2.9 seconds. In your experience, has GoDaddy been pretty cooperative and they'll give you some more server space or reduce that time, or how do you get that reduced?
So one thing is they have a program called WordPress Optimized Hosting, which is generally much faster than the regular hosting packages that they have. So that would be one move that you could make staying with GoDaddy. Another thing you could do is evaluate the number of other domains that happen to be in the same server. So when you pay them the $4.99 a month or whatever you're paying them, it's a really cheap fee. You're not getting your own server that has only your website on it. You are stuck into a server with literally hundreds of thousands of other websites on the same machine. So when you're in that situation, if you happen to be in a server that has hundreds of thousands of websites, but then maybe they start a new one and that's where they're putting all the new customers in, that could maybe have just 1,000 websites. The server that has 1,000 websites is going to run much faster than the one that has hundreds of thousands of websites. So there's some reverse lookup tools that you can use, which I don't know off the top of my head, but the point is you can see how many other websites are on your server, and you can request that they move you. They'll probably tell you that doesn't make a difference, and they're wrong. But because obviously if you have more things on a computer demanding resources from that computer, or less things on that computer demanding resources, it does make a difference. That's why dedicated servers exist. And if you got a dedicated server, which could cost you $250 a month, which is really expensive, that would be cost prohibitive. But the other opportunity is you could get into a situation where you're sharing a dedicated server with several people you know, and then you know there's only ever going to be 5 websites on that thing, and then you split that between a few other folks that you might know, and then that's the server for you guys. So that would be another alternative there. But I have had success with arguing with GoDaddy, talking to the representative and getting up to a supervisor and say, look, we got to do something about this. It's unacceptable that I'm on a server with hundreds of thousands of other websites. We need to move this to another server. And sometimes they'll say, you know what, if you want a different server, start a new hosting account. It'll automatically be assigned to a different server. You could see how many people are on that one. If you don't like it, you can cancel it, buy a new package, see what you're assigned to, and then if you get assigned to one that has less websites on it, then you can migrate your own website. It sounds like a lot of work, and it is. So those are some different strategies that we've used in the past to get faster hosting with GoDaddy in the shared environment. I don't think we have anything else particularly on this, but I did want to kind of move into the realm of Amazon now, and that's where you have these dog diapers, or alternative to dog diapers that is more like a garment for the dog that looks nice, and that's really your unique selling proposition. And the problem with having a website and having these things for sale on your website is that now that you have it and it works and let's say it is fast, now the next problem is, well, how do we get people to find your product and buy it? And that's where you're going to need to do search engine optimization. And when you're doing search engine optimization, you're going to be competing against everybody else that has a website that does something maybe similar. So let's do a search. I know this isn't a dog diaper, but you might want to come up for the word dog diaper. Robin, would you punch dog diaper into Google? Open a new tab and put that in. So let's see what you're competing against just for dog diaper. So we see this come up. This is what a normal person would do, but if we take this and put it into quotes, this is how we evaluate the competition of the word. And when we take a look at the competition of the word and put it in quotes, the little number, and Robin, could you highlight that about 153,000 results? That's how many pages that exist in Google's database that have those two words in that order. So dog, diaper. So we can see right away that there's a lot of pages on the internet to compete against. Usually anything over 12,000 is going to be difficult to be found for, just because there's so many other websites out there that have those two words in that order and may have been doing SEO. Now let's make it a little bit longer tail, Robin. Let's do washable dog diaper, which seems to be something that people put in. All right, so this is what would normally come up, but then we're going to put this into quotes. And instead of 153,000, we're down to 16,600, which is much easier to rank for. So regardless, if you want to come up in Google and you want people to come into your website, you're going to have to find those keywords that are going to really work to get into your website. And then second, you're going to have to do SEO to actually get found, which could be a big proposition, because it's not like you're trying to get found in a town, which could be a lot easier. You're trying to get found nationwide or even internationally. So when folks come to me and say, I want to increase or I want to sell my stuff online, I said, well, instead of making a website and getting it all set up to process payments and everything else, and instead of doing the SEO after you have that done to get found, we recommend, well, why don't you just list your product on Amazon? Because there's millions of people going to Amazon every day to look for products to buy them. So let's take a look at Amazon.com. And you know what? We'll flip over to my screen.
And the website's still a good marketing tool.
Well, Robin, go ahead and finish your point, and then Tim or Blake, I heard you talk. You'll go next. What was that, Robin?
I was just going to say your website, even if you're only selling on Amazon, your website's still a good marketing tool, especially if you're going to conventions or you're selling your product in other ways for people just to get a little bit more info on your company. So they really work hand in hand.
Yeah, in fact, we've done that with Flow. Here's a company that does it. And Blake, you got the screen focused on mine. And this is where here's a beautiful website, talks all about the product, but if you get to the point of purchasing, you're going to go right to Amazon to buy. So we're still using the website to funnel the traffic to Amazon, but here on Amazon, this product can be found for prebiotic, and people that are looking for prebiotics will be able to see that this product comes up. So Blake or Tim, you were trying to make a comment there. Can you?
I was saying that I had it pulled up already, but Amazon is searching for dog diapers.
Okay, Blake, would you focus on Tim's screen for me? Or Tim, no, Blake's controlling the action here on this. So Blake, put it on Tim's screen, please. And then Tim, you did a search for dog diapers, and we could see up in the upper left how many results do we have?
Well, it doesn't give us a finite number, but it says about 500 plus, so I'm guessing between 500 and 1,000.
All right. So we have 500 different things we're competing against instead of 150,000. So that's a hell of a lot less to compete against. And we can see there's all sorts of different things here, but let's type in washable.
Yeah, I was about to do that.
Okay, kind of same, but it's not definitely not 16,000, right? And then
Correct.
My favorite thing to do here is to check that little prime button on the lower left. Okay, and when I was doing this earlier, it was giving me more specific numbers, so I don't know why yours isn't giving us in some more specific results. But I think it might be because you're signed in. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you want to sign in real quick?
Yeah, give me a second. I'll do that really quick here.
Well, while you're doing that, the point that I'm trying to make is people that are in Prime check that box a lot of the time because they don't want to deal with shipping that isn't 2-day free shipping. So that's where it's really important to be in the Prime program, and on the seller side, that's called Amazon FBA. So being in the FBA program is so important because then people can take advantage of that 2-day shipping, and even in some markets, 1-day shipping. And a lot of folks will even pay more for an item just because they know they're going to get 2-day free shipping through Amazon Prime versus getting it shipped by an individual seller. So, and that's called fulfillment by merchant. So that's so important. I'm going to go ahead and pull it up here on my screen here.
Yeah, it's I signed into one account and it didn't show it, but another one did for some reason.
These companies are always changing. So I did dog diaper here.
Oh, yeah.
Blake, please put it on my screen. So we got dog diaper, and I have 19,673. So that's a hell of a lot more finite figure. So that's a lot of competition. If I do washable dog diaper, that's 22, almost 2,300 right there. And then if I check this Prime button, drops to 609. So you're competing against a lot of other folks, and there's millions of people looking at Amazon every day. So this is where I always recommend people get into the Amazon space with their products. And I don't know what the best terms are to search for your products, because I know it's an alternative to a dog diaper. So it's more of like a fashion. I think I remember the term dog garments. I don't know how many people are actually searching that. We can see dog garments comes up with 197,000, but maybe diaper garments, and we can use this to kind of get it. Okay, so here's 1,800, but I don't know how many people actually type these words in this order. So I'm gonna. The other cool thing that I can do here, dog diaper, and you'd say, see how they're filling in additional words in the autocomplete here, so I can evaluate this. Dog diapers female, dog diapers male, dog diapers female washable, dog diaper liners, dog diaper bag, dog diapers large and medium. The reason these are coming up is because people are actually typing those. Let me just type in spacebar. Now I get a whole another set of results, right? Suspenders, covers, wrap, large. So if I type in the letter A, okay, adult male comes up. If I do B, okay, C, a belly wrap come up for B, right? Which might be something similar to what you might want to be found for. So I'm just going through the alphabet to research. Okay, well, what are people searching because Amazon's suggesting it? So this is a really cool technique to see what should I be calling my my item. So this way it comes up in the search results appropriately. And Robin, you could probably comment on that just from a keyword research standpoint, because that's essentially what we're doing, but it's a little bit more manual. But you can speak to how important it is to have the right keywords, because it influences the volume of people that are going to be searching for it. Right, Robin?
Yes, you can find, so Paul has said that he doesn't know the actual traffic or numbers, but you can find out the actual numbers in terms of how many people are searching it on Google, and get a rough idea of what would work on Amazon based on that. There's also a free tool called Google Keyword Planner that will give you some pretty good numbers. All you have to do is sign up for a free AdWords account, but you don't actually have to put down any credit card information, but that'll give you some, you can put in any exact words that you like. And when we talk about long tail, we're talking about, dog diaper would be the short tail, and then dog diaper female washable, that would be an example of a longer keyword. And the idea is that those long tail keywords are going to have less competition, but a more focused audience, so more likely to buy from you.
Great. So that being said, let's go back to their website for a moment. I had a few other comments I wanted to make, and we have 10 minutes left on this webinar. And if you have any questions, we'd be glad to take them. But what we really want to do, and let me I haven't been good at watching for the questions, but usually Blake's keeping an eye out for me on that, and we don't have any right now. But if you do have any specific questions, I'd be glad to answer those for you. But I want to go back to their website. So Blake, let's put the focus back on Robin's screen. Robin, would you pull up their website again? So if you're going to get started with Amazon, we got Terry's logged in as a public participant rather than in with us as he normally is, and he says, "Where is the guy who's usually the host? I really miss him. He's fantastic." That's Terry. So going back to the website here, just a few comments on your product photography. You're going to get this if you get this ready for Amazon, which is what I would recommend. You want to make sure that your product photography is really solid. So, Robin, would you mind going to the Shop Now section? We'll take a look at the product photography. So you have the ability to put between 7 and 9 pictures on an Amazon listing. And right now, these pictures are good, but go ahead and click into any one of those. So just click onto one of those. And this should even be something that you put on your website. So I see one side of this product, but I don't really see all the different angles. I don't see it on a dog, every single one of them on a dog. And those are some of the different things that we would want to do with this, so we can really understand, how this works. Because all three of these different color options that I see here are folded up, so I don't see what it looks like unfolded. I don't see what the other side looks like. So really having every possible angle available is very important. So I'm seeing different angles on the other colors, but I really don't get a grasp of how this whole thing works. I know on another page I saw that it was open, so I could see the diaper portion of it, but I don't see that on this product listing. So if this is going to turn into Amazon listing, I really want to get 8 different pictures of it on a dog, from different angles on the dog. I want to have pictures of it opened up so I can see the inside, the back of it, everything. So that's going to be really important. Tim, do you want to speak to some of the bullet points that that right now we have like a general description and a general title? Would you like to make some recommendations on things they could do to improve those, plus having those bullet points that are oh so important to Amazon listings?
Sure. So looking through just the general description, I like that it's telling more or less a story, which always helps with the description to explain, put you in the spot of why would I want to buy this particular product. So this is definitely a great start. I think that you could even expand on it a bit more, but this would be a great starting point to develop some bullet points, breaking these up into short sentences, no more than a couple hundred characters at most, to put those in there as well. The thing that we found is that people in Amazon, you have the bullet points right up at the top. In here, you can see that bullet points are not present, but a very good technique is to utilize bullet points because people tend to eat up bullet points a lot easier. They tend to read those a lot easier than trying to read a whole entire paragraph.
Scan for information.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think that would certainly be my recommendation for this particular page, something that Amazon does really well. But yeah, utilize everything at your disposal to try and help sell the product.
So the other thing that I notice here with the title, Market Wear Pea Suit Pea Shirt, by reading if I were to read the title alone and see the picture and not have any of the description, would I know what this is for? And the answer is no. So that's where we really want to put, if you're going to put this on Amazon, you have to say what it is. And if you looked at any of the stuff that we looked at on Amazon earlier, you notice that they say, dog diaper or dog diaper garment, in fact, is one of them that I'm looking at on one of my other screens right now. So having that in there so it describes exactly what it is in just a few words pertaining to those keywords that Robin was talking about is so important. So oh yeah, that's exactly what I'm looking at. And they click and then they get to it. So when you're designing your Amazon listing, that's going to be important. The other thing that I notice here, if you scroll down a little bit, Robin, is this looks like a customizable thing, which I certainly can appreciate because I have 2 boxers that are normal-sized dogs for their size, but I have a miniature dachshund that's really long. And when my wife was looking for a little coat for her, she was not able to find anything long enough for the miniature dachshund. So I can appreciate the idea of wanting to customize it, but when you're getting into the Amazon game, you're really looking to do mass volume. They do have a program called Amazon Handmade, which they're trying to do to compete with Etsy. where you can do some customizable products. But I think you might want to consider creating some standard sizes and just listing, hey, this is the body length, chest, waist, and weight that we recommend, like a lot of commercial products that you find in pet stores, and have those standard sizes that people buy and start out in that way rather than starting out customized.
And
Tim, it
one
sounds
thing
like
I
you
want
had a comment on that.
Yeah, so one thing I want to point out is it does look like they do have standard sizes. This is just another way for the sales representatives to be able to verify that the size that they picked is going to fit the dog. So I'm reminded of someone that we've worked with before that had varying sizes of what are called their air conditioner covers that ran to a similar situation where people were buying the wrong size, and we were able to circumvent that problem because Amazon doesn't really allow you to necessarily put in this kind of detailed information before you buy it. But that's something where you can always create a chart, something to help someone figure out very quickly and easily what size is going to be appropriate for the dog.
All right, great, Tim. Thank you. Well, with that being said, I think we're going to wrap up the webinar. Usually Terry does the wrap up, but he's unable to join us at this point. So we'll wrap up by going back to the Awesome Dynamics site. Remember, we do responsive web design, we do SEO, Amazon seller consulting, and virtual tours. We want to ask you to sign up for the Awesome List. You do that by scrolling down on our homepage, the Awesome List section, or you just give us your email address and name, and then we'll send you information. It's all great information about our blogs, and we send you copies of these videos that we do each week. Robin's constantly doing research, and Tim and Blake are constantly producing content regarding the different things that we do on Amazon and SEO to help you help yourself. So you can use that information to help yourself, or you can, of course, engage with us. But if you really enjoyed what you saw today, I'd like you to go to the bottom of our website. There's a little Review Us button down there. Click on that, then click the thumbs up to say, yeah, this was awesome. And then you'll be brought to the screen where you can choose to leave us a 5-star Google review or 5-star Facebook, and we would love that. Ooh, and we have a couple comments real quick, last minute here. Eric Pasal. He says, hi, I'm one of the business owners of Barketware. Thank you guys again for great info and input on our website. And Terry is giving me compliments on my wrap-up, said that I did a good job. So thank you, Terry. You've taught me a lot on how to wrap up a webinar because you've been doing it so much more than I have these days. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you next Thursday, 12:30 Central Time, and every Thursday, 12:30 Central Time going forward, except for Thanksgiving. So you'll get us every single Thursday through the rest of the year at 12:30 Central. Thank you so much, everyone. You want to say goodbye?
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Adios, amigos.